Let's call Anthony Landry next.
Chairman Gordon, Chairman Brady, members of the committee, thank you very much for your time today. My name is Anthony Landry. I've been a dispatcher for the Boston Police for just under 20 years, and I'm also the coordinator and director of the Metro Boston 911 Peer Support Team, which operates within the Massachusetts State Peer Support Network, which has been established for 30 years, responding to police, fire, and EMS for any crisis intervention and peer support needs whenever a tragedy strikes in Massachusetts. They welcomed us with open arms as 911 dispatchers for the first time 3 years ago. And we were established out of the ashes of the marathon bombing. They finally recognized the cumulative trauma that we endure on a day in and day out basis in our position. We are subjected to the same exact schedules in Boston as officers and held to the same rules and standards, to the point where if by any chance a call isn't done perfect, which we need to maintain for the baseball fans out there, 1,000 batting average every single call we take to ensure public safety, we have to go to internal affairs to speak with them. So that's the standard we are held to. So the cumulative stress of our job to perform our job correctly encompasses every moment of our job. Since I started, we started off with 2 computer screens, one to take the call, one to enter the call. We now have 6. We monitor shot spotter activations. We also monitor some video alarms that are sent to our systems. We have to run plates like most agencies do, and that's for Boston. Let's talk about statewide. Sometimes there are dispatchers who are the only person in the chair for an entire shift. They literally have to take their radio to the bathroom with them. They cannot abandon their post at all. In my job as a peer support coordinator, what I have seen is the cumulative toll of this job. Speaking personally, what other job can you sit at where you can hear somebody screaming on the radio that there's a baby with a gunshot wound and you can see inside of them? What other job can you personally, like I took this call, having hearing impaired person frantically typing to you stating that they were raped and the rapist is still in the house? What other job can you have where a friend of yours was a police officer for 7 years and took his own life on your own channel? And what other job can you field a call where the first line of the call reads, "Tell dispatcher it's his mother that has a gun pointed in her face"? That's me. Now let's get over what's going on with COVID and the world we're living in now with job recruitment and taking care of the people we have. We were last on the list to receive cleaning supplies to the point where I got COVID. A few of my other coworkers got COVID. I got a heart issue out of it now. We also have folks now realizing that there is a work-life balance coming out of COVID, as we were some of the few people who actually had to go into work every single day. I'm losing coworkers who have put in 20 years in the job, knowing that their retirement is so far off that they cannot deal with the job anymore. They are abandoning post and leaving because they're not being taken care of. If we are able to be put into group 2, they will see a light at the end of the tunnel and stay in that chair so we can help prevent this attrition rate, which is going off the charts. Nationally, 911 dispatchers are going by the wayside to the point where in 2019, there was 15 to 20% job vacancy with an annual 7% need nationwide for more dispatchers. We are now at the point in April of 2021 where we are at 25 to 30% job vacancy. And I can tell you in Boston, we are at 35%, to the point where we were put on emergency 12-hour shifts this past summer to deal with the people who are leaving their jobs. We need to take a 2-pronged approach. We need to take the approach of taking care of the people who, if you do the math in Boston, field on a 40-year career, 350 to 500,000 911 calls. But now that they're getting ordered to work an additional 8 hours at times, you're dealing with people who could potentially be dealing with 750,000 calls a year or over their whole career. We need to help them.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Now, Patrick, well, let's do this. Chair Brady, do you have any questions for Mr. Landry?
No, I do not, folks.
And anyone from the committee? Okay, let's hear from Patrick Atwell, who I think is testifying consistent with Mr. Landry.
I am. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Chairman Gordon, Chairman Brady, and members of this committee for allowing me to speak today. My name is Patrick Atwell. I'm the political director for SEIU 888. And I come before you today to testify in support of S1710 and H2779, an act relative to Massachusetts Certified Emergency Telecommunicators. I'm also in support of S1709, H2703, an act relative to Executive Office of Public Safety and Security Dispatchers. It is fair to say that the job of emergency telecommunicators, 911 dispatchers, state 911, and state police dispatchers have changed dramatically over the years since this position was rolled out. Which was once done by sworn officers is now done by dedicated civilians. In order for these individuals to become certified in the Commonwealth, they must go through countless hours and months of training, and some of these certifications have to be renewed yearly. CGAIS is the FBI's Criminal Justice Information System, NextGen 911. APCO is the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials. EMD is Emergency Medical Dispatch Certification. ShotSpotter is the audible gun sensing technology that alerts the dispatchers, and mutual link backburn allows multiple agencies to communicate with each other. Emergency telecommunicators are often required to testify in court. They must also possess tactical knowledge, which is a wide knowledge of a cornucopia of tactical issues, and need the ability to be able to calmly deploy and order them under mundane to extreme circumstances across law enforcement, EMS, and fire services. This job has a negative toll, both physically and mentally, on these individuals that are handling multiple life or death calls on a daily basis, which affects them on a personal level. They are truly the unsung heroes and should be considered first responders. Having the ability for emergency telecommunicators, 911 dispatch, state 911, and state police department dispatchers to be able to retire before these negative impacts, as I stated previously, become insurmountable and then they have time to heal and be with their family and loved ones is paramount. For the reasons stated in my testimony today, emergency telecommunicators, 911 dispatchers, state 911 dispatchers, and state police dispatchers should be reclassified from Group 1 to Group 2 because of changes in their duties, responsibilities, and risks. Thank you for your time.